it's just an example. Purdue losing to Fresno State is okay. We can still win the Big Ten West. But me,
Billy Napier gets fired. I'm just kidding.
hey, really the best time of the year. I will be seated watching Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to a new episode of Backyard Banter. Johnny, James, Tanner, we're here. It's Super Bowl week, our last football prediction, and it's always a sad time when it's the last football prediction. But we have the Chiefs really going for immortality. We haven't seen a team win 3 in a row since I think the Packers way back when. I mean, it hasn't happened in the modern era. So we're not going to waste any time. We have a lot of NBA news to get to, which we don't talk a lot of NBA until after the NFL season. And somehow the NBA trade deadline has made the Super Bowl not talked about really, which has been kind of shocking. But James Andrew Keck, we'll go to you first. Who's winning the Super Bowl and why?
Yeah, I mean, it is crazy. And, these past few Super Bowls, maybe we're all this bored of seeing the same team, right? But we've said this many times that at the same time, you respect the greatness, you respect what they've been able to do. But yeah, this year, I'm stoked, right? Sunday, I think we have a great matchup. I think we have two of the best teams in the NFL. But I said it last week, I think, and I'm going to stick to it. I think the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win a Super Bowl. Something tells me that it's just their time and it's not the Chiefs' time, maybe. I mean, you look at what this Eagles team has been able to do with Saquon Barkley, who Tanner and I have said it, like probably the most valuable player in the NFL. He's unbelievable. My keys for the game for the Eagles, and if you're the Chiefs, you load the box and you make Jalen Hurts beat you, right? I think that's truthfully what you do. I mean, the Chiefs have a top percentile run defense. They're pretty good against the run. It's a great defense, but I think you have to make Jalen Hurts throw the ball and throw for over 250 yards to beat you. I think the slow, methodical game, the Eagles have an advantage in that. But I don't know. I like Jalen Hurts in the situation. I know Jalen Hurts gets a lot of slack sometimes on this podcast. Apparently he's watching it because then he hooped against the Commanders, right? That Johnny said that last week. So I just have a lot of questions on that. But if I'm the Chiefs, I make Jalen Hurts throw the ball. I think we said that in a few games in the college football playoff. Saquon's going to just go out there and play his game. Jalen Hurts is going to be a weapon with his legs as well. But I think the Eagles are going to win this game because I do think he's going to make those throws. I do think he's going to throw for 225 yards plus. I think A.J. Brown is going to have a big opportunity to kind of, he's a guy that's in the NFL that I don't know if it's a quarterback issue. I don't know if it's him reading a book on the sideline, but like the Eagles are so talented all around the field. And I feel like right now it's just Saquon because of the incredible year that he's had. But let's not forget the plethora of offense of options that they have. So I like the Eagles here. I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a great game. I do think it's gonna come down to the wire. But yeah, I like Philly here just because I think Jalen Hurts is gonna kind of show that he is an elite quarterback in this. And that word elite is hard to use because some people say elite can only be given to 3 guys, but I do think he's an elite quarterback in the NFL. And so yeah, we're gonna pull for Philly for me.
You mentioned some of my points that I was going to say, and there's really 2 things that this game is going to come down to, and I think they both kind of relate to the same thing, if that makes sense. The Chiefs are going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. You're correct in that regard, but I don't know if the Chiefs can stop Saquon Barkley, even though they are going to make Jalen Hurts beat them. So I question, can the Chiefs slow down Saquon Barkley, like go all in to slow him down? And even if they do go all in to do that, I don't know if they can. And can Jalen Hurts beat the Chiefs? I don't think Jalen Hurts can beat the Chiefs, but I don't know if the Chiefs can slow down Saquon Barkley. I've been going back and forth. This is a 50-50. This is a toss-up. Still haven't truthfully made my decision. So I'm just going to go with continuity and championship DNA and Patrick Mahomes. I don't like Patrick Mahomes. I don't like the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't like the Philadelphia Eagles either. I just don't like either. I don't like the Chiefs and I don't like the Eagles fan base, if that makes sense. So I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. I think they've been there. They've done that. George Karlaftis is going to make some big plays for the Chiefs defense.
There you go.
And Patrick Mahomes is going to do what he does to need to win the game, whether it's with his legs, whether it's throwing it to Travis Kelce, DeAndre Hopkins, whoever he might be throwing it to. He's going to make the right play. I trust him to make the right play, the right throws, to not turn the ball over, and to win this game. I think for the Eagles defensively, the key is going to be getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes. The one Super Bowl he's been in and lost was against the Bucs, your Bucs, Johnny, and they were able to get a ton of pressure, get a lot of sacks, generate pressure, and part of that was the Chiefs' offensive line was a little bit banged up. But if the Eagles can't get a pass rush going, they're not going to win this game. And I think Patrick Mahomes is going to stay clean and play a good football game. And unfortunately, the Chiefs are going to win their third straight Super Bowl.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the biggest key is how are you going to limit Saquon if you're the Chiefs, and Saquon's going to get his 100 to 120, but to me the game depends how is he going to get it. Is it going to take 25 carries to get it, or is it going to be 10 carries, 120 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he's going to have a 40-yard touchdown run? Because a lot of the Eagles' explosives this postseason and this season have come from Saquon having a 60-yard touchdown run, 80-yard touchdown run. So I think that's the biggest key. And then it's a matchup game. It's McDuffie against AJ Brown. It's Nick Bolton against Saquon. It's Steve Spagnuolo versus Kevin Moore. And on the other side is Vic Fangio versus Andy Reid. And it's really interesting in those matchups wise because I think these are the two most talented rosters in the NFL going at each other. With that being said, Jalen Hurts made some big time throws against Washington. Can he do that consistently against the Chiefs? And that's the biggest question for me. Is he going to be able to make big-time throws consistently against the Chiefs? I started this train last season when Mahomes went to Buffalo, and I'm going to keep doing it. I will not pick against Patrick Mahomes until he loses. I don't see how you can right now. I mean, they're just so automatic. When the game's on the line, they're going to come through. If the Eagles are down 3 and Mahomes has the ball with 2:40 left and the Eagles have 2 timeouts, he's going to get the first down. They're going to find a way. Because, Channing, you said it. They have the most continuity. They have the best head coach, quarterback, receiver. I'm going to call Kelce a receiver for this, even though he's a tight end, combo in the NFL. And most of the time that wins. And organization down, right? You got the Hunts who are the owners. They're some of the best owners in the NFL. GM, top-notch GM, quarterback, best quarterback maybe ever. Andy Reid, one of the 5 best head coaches ever. Travis Kelce, best tight end ever. When you have combinations like that, you don't lose often. And if anyone's going to do this, the Eagles, because they completely rebuilt their secondary in a year. They can get after you, and their pass rush is interesting because it comes at you from the interior. Their pass rusher is Jalen Carter, who's an interior defensive lineman. You don't have I know they got some guys on the outside, but they're not like complete game wreckers like they've had in the past. So I got the Chiefs. I do think it could be close, but I mean, anytime it comes down to, like I said, you need a field goal when there's a minute 10 left, 1 timeout. They're going to get they're going to get in field goal range, right? Like Eagles down 6, they need a stop with 2:40 left. They're not getting the ball back. So kind of for those reasons, and for a lot of the matchups that I mentioned, also, I think the Chiefs have advantage in a lot of those matchups. So I'm going to slightly lean Kansas City.
Yeah, what a great game it's going to be. I mean, I'm very thankful it's a 5:30 start, right? Like I'm so thankful that I don't have to wait. I mean, the game will probably still end at 9:30, but like whatever, like that's at least
the commercial is going to be nuts.
Like that's a normal. And here's my question to you guys: like, we're very avid football fans. We love the game, college and NFL level. Like, did you guys ever care that much about the commercials? Like, were you guys ever like locked in on the commercials? Because that was a big deal. Like when we were in middle school, like it was always like, oh, this Eminem commercial is gonna be fire. Like, are we commercial guys?
Yeah.
Like, right?
No. Halftime
show.
Yes.
When I was halftime show, yeah. When I was in high school, I remember we had like not an assignment, but like an open conversation my English class about the commercials.
Yeah.
So it's always interesting because my dad's company had a commercial one time too in the Super Bowl, so like kind of look out for that. So it's interesting to see what commercials like come up, but I'm not like, oh, like yes, a commercial break, more commercials to see what's going on. Yeah. But there's the appeal. Like there'll be rankings after the game of what commercials were the best.
I know.
And it's
a legitimate thing. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, James has a grid. We're back on our grid grind.
Yeah, we do.
As you guys crushed mine last week, and now James has one.
Yeah.
As we have another.
Yeah, another football. Can you guys see me? Because I can't see you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That happened to me last time. It's all good.
I'll just pretend like you guys aren't making fun of me in the background. But yeah, we did football. I was sitting there and I'm like, we just did football, but at the same time, it's the Super Bowl on Sunday. So let's keep going football. So we have most touchdowns for a career since the year of 2005. I think there's a few that might be a little tricky. Obviously, there's some duplicate teams in here, very close to touchdown, the same amount of touchdowns. So I'm going to give you guys 2 strikes each, and we're going to start with Tanner.
See, I want to start the Bears, but that's pretty dumb. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go for the Seahawks, and I'm going to go Marshawn Lynch.
Yes, that is correct. I don't know if there was this cool thing I was playing with today. I can do this, and then ba-bam, and then ba-bam. Oh, shit. Ba-bam.
Oh, I thought it was going to work. Oh, there it goes.
There we go.
Tanner, I will rip the Bucks one. The Bucks one is Mike Evans, and Mike Evans has a history of throwing big footballs into the crowd, like he did it with Brady's. I forget. It was like his. He broke the record for most touchdowns in his career. And he threw it into the crowd and stuff, but he held on to that one.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm just gonna play it safe here. Go with Larry Fitz for the Cardinals.
Yep, that'll do it.
And while we're up there, I'll rip Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, tough one there. Yeah. I will say also, just so you guys know, like this is based off of the team that I remember them the most, or famous for.
So I'm gonna go down to the Lions and go to Calvin Johnson.
That is correct.
What a gritty one. I completely blanked on where. Oh, the Chiefs won. Travis Kelce.
No. Dude, I think I have a bird trying to fly into my air conditioner right now. No joke. It's kind of scary. But yeah, it's not Travis Kelce.
I'm gonna stay away from that Chiefs one. I think I know who both Chargers are, but I'm just gonna rip LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah, I was gonna give you guys that one. Just he is the one with 102.
Okay.
If one of you guys would have known that he had 102 and the other one had 101, I would have been very impressed. But yeah, I'm a nice guy.
Okay, I also think I know who is the Chiefs one is now, but I'm gonna stay away from that. And the other two on my mind right now are actively tight ends. Not active right now; they're actually both retired. But is 101 Antonio Gates for the Chargers?
That is correct. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a bird right now flying into my air conditioner.
For the Texans, let me get Andre Johnson.
Texans is not Andre Johnson.
Oh, that is a brutal one.
Yeah, I didn't.
Okay, so the Steelers could be a few people. The Titans. So again, it could be like Derrick Henry seems like the easy answer, but there's also stud running back before him. So we're gonna
just go with your gut.
Okay, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Patriots. Let me go with Rob Gronkowski.
That is correct. Yeah.
Yeah. See, I was rattled after the no Kelsey one.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, dude.
I know. I'm just too rattled.
Dude,
is the Cowboys?
Like he is.
He's really getting in there.
So rattled.
Is the Cowboys one? Is the Cowboys one Jason Witten?
It is not. No.
Oh, that's a bad guess too.
But technically you have 2, but we'll up it up to 3 just because we have a lot left. So you get one more, Johnny. But Tanner,
that's a bad guess.
I'm gonna go with.
I knew right when I said it.
Not your best guess.
I'm gonna go with one of the Saints ones here. It's got to be Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, we're gonna go. He had 89.
Okay.
He had 89 touchdowns. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys. The ones that are left are pretty simple. Like there's no.
Yeah.
These are like household names.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe besides the Jets one as a household name, but you know,
Is the Eagles one McCoy?
it is. Yep, that is correct.
So I think there's two for the Saints that I could think of. The Cowboys, there's a couple. There truthfully is a couple I could think of.
Who's
I
the
think
two?
I
I'm
know,
only thinking of one for the Saints.
I think I know the Chiefs one. I'm just gonna go with the Bears. That has to be Matt Forte. There's no way it's not Matt Forte.
It's not Matt Forte.
Oh my goodness!
That's not Matt Forte. This is a guy that he had several successful stints in the NFL. Like he was good for a number of teams, but obviously I put the Bears like because he played well for the Bears. All right, so you guys each we're opening it to 3. Johnny, you have one more. Tanner, you have one more.
See, the Steelers one, it's one of two people.
He's
And
very prevalent right now.
okay, I'm gonna go Antonio Brown.
That is CTE Antonio Brown.
There you go. Because Le'Veon Bell didn't play long enough, I feel like,
No, he did
to
not.
get that much.
He would definitely be on this list if he continued the trajectory, but yeah, I mean the Packers one you guys got, the Chiefs one you guys got.
We can get them all. We'll figure it out.
You got him.
So the Bears has to be Brandon Marshall. Like it can't
That's
be
correct.
anybody else.
Yeah,
Can't be
that
anybody
is
else.
correct.
Okay, so the same thing. Like for the Cowboys, I think it's Zeke, but again, like he was really good early, then he kind of declined. You know, for the Saints, I really think that it's Mark Ingram, but it also could like very much not be Mark Ingram. And then Tanner, you're gonna have to do the Chiefs one. I'm still pretty rattled that that's not Travis Kelce. Okay, I'm going to
What if
go.
I told you guys that we have 3 running backs and 3 receivers left?
That helps a lot.
Yeah, that does help. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to go for it. Is the Saints Mark Ingram?
No, it's not.
Okay, that helps because I think the Saints is Marquise Colston.
It's not.
No.
No. I don't want to like.
Okay, well the Cowboys is Zeke.
One more sympathy one. Yeah, all right. Cowboys Zeke. Come on.
And then it has to be Kamara.
Kamara.
Really?
Who's the Chiefs?
Not really.
So there's no tight ends on this list.
There are no tight ends on this list.
And what did Johnny he said? Kelsey. Then it's Jamal Charles.
No.
Yeah.
No. Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, dude, he was pretty good for the Chiefs. He no longer plays for the Chiefs, but he's active.
Tyreek Hill.
That's correct.
But I really thought that was going to be
Again,
95. That's a lot of touchdowns.
isn't it? Like
Yeah.
StatMuse, that's what it says. I mean,
Packers would probably be Aaron Jones or Jordy Nelson. I mean, I don't know at this point.
no, neither.
Yeah, Aaron Jones hasn't played for long enough, and like you want to say,
Still in the league.
yeah, like I'm gonna go Devontae Adams, but like you don't think that he has that much? Like 103 touchdowns is like an insane amount
for a receiver alone.
Yeah,
Like, is nuts. So we got one receiver and one running back.
D Hop.
Yeah, we got D Hop down here for the Texans and Jets running back.
I'm blanking. Tanner, do you know it?
Chris Ivory.
Nope.
Tanner,
No.
What a poll that is. Shout out Chris
Wait.
Ivory.
is he? He's not active, is he?
I know. No, he's
This
not.
is an incredible
Frank Gore.
phrase.
That is Frank Gore. That is correct.
You think of Frank Gore on the Jets?
I would think
I
of
do.
the Niners.
I do.
I think Niners.
I think Niners.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a tough one. Okay, that
was
one
tough.
makes sense.
there were a few names. Honestly, the tougher ones you guys kind of got right away, and they're obviously we're talking about teams that are like they've been to Super Bowl, so obviously they've.
I think that we need to talk about how Devontae Adams and Tyreek Hill have an absurd amount of touchdowns.
Yeah,
And,
that's shocking. That is shocking.
Like Tyreek Hill has like Mike Evans has been in the league. I think this was year 11 or 12 for him. And I know Devontae kind of came around the same time, but you know Tyreek, that's pretty substantial. But But yeah, and we rarely talk NBA until after the All Star break, but we're gonna talk NBA right now because when is the last time we've ever seen a trade? First of all, the trade deadline for the NBA is more entertaining than watching an NBA regular season game, just
Oh yeah,
personally.
fraud.
And that Luca first game with Luca and the Lakers is going to get an insane rating. And that's part of the reason why they traded for him. Adam Silver's probably like, hey, like, because even Rob Pelinka was like, I cannot believe that Nico Harrison traded me Luca and didn't even get 2 first-round picks. And um, so obviously, if you've been underneath the rock, the Mavericks traded Luka Doncic to the Lakers for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and I believe it was their either the 2029 first or the 2031 first from the Lakers.
Yeah,
And the
29.
Lakers had 2 first-round picks that they could trade that were eligible to trade. The other ones either have swaps or the what's the rule? It's from the Cavs GM, but where you can't trade back to back of your own first round picks, and they moved that into completely resetting their timeline. So their timeline went from LeBron probably has 1 more year after this. He's going to play out his contract, and he's probably going to be done. Anthony Davis is hurt a lot of the time, but when he plays, he's fantastic. But he turns 32 in March. 2, you get Luka Doncic when he's healthy, is one of the 3 best players in basketball, and is a 5-time first-team All-NBA guy in 6 years in the NBA. So when I saw that trade, I immediately was like, "What are the Mavericks doing? You're trading a guy that was going to be your best player, better than Dirk, who took you to the finals last year." And James had a really interesting take on this, so I'm interested to hear what he's going to say. But you know, I understand like are the Mavericks better this year by adding Anthony Davis and Kyrie? Like maybe like if you want to say that, I don't think it's the craziest thing ever. But completely closing your window after 3 years is what the Magic or not the Magic. Magic didn't make a trade. What the Mavericks are doing. They're basically saying, AD, you're 32. Kyrie, you're in your 30s as well. You guys got 2 or 3 years to get this done. Instead of having a potential 10-year window with Luka, who again is a top 3 scorer, a top 3 player when he's healthy. And you want to talk about the defense? Like, yeah, the defense is bad. I don't even think his conditioning is like utterly atrocious because again, this is a guy that's a 5-time first team All NBA guy. So if you're the Lakers, you do it 100 times out of 100. And if you're Nico Harrison, you better hope you guys get at least to the Western Conference Finals in the next 2 years, or else Dallas will march in and I don't even know what they do.
Yeah, shocking. I
We've
didn't
never
believe
seen a trade like this ever.
I didn't believe the news.
Yeah.
I was told by the people around me that I was hanging out with at the time that Shams got hacked and it's
Yeah.
not real. So I woke up and was like, "Oh my goodness, it's actually real." Um, Shocked, but I don't mean to be like a Skip Bayless here, but good for the Mavs. Um, they clearly see something in Luca that they aren't comfortable with long term. Me personally, seeing how he played defense in the NBA Finals, championship on the line, seeing how he played defense, that would scare me away too. I don't know if I want my franchise guy to just not give any effort in the NBA Finals defensively. That is something that's not acceptable. So clear. I think for me that has to be the issue is him defensively, him physically, whether he's not fit enough to defend, whether he just doesn't want to. Something's there defensively that when it comes down to winning time in the NBA Finals and he doesn't want to play defense, I can see that. I can see why they get rid of him. Anthony Davis and Kyrie are going to be great together. Very excited to see what the Mavs do the remainder of the season. They still have good pieces. Like that's the thing you can't forget about the Mavs. Like Max Christie's a young player. He's got potential. Like they get Max Christie in the deal. Spencer Dinwiddie has been having a pretty good season. He's been putting up good numbers. Daniel Gafford, like if Anthony Davis can't play, like they have Daniel Gafford, they have Derek Lively. Like the Mavs still have pieces to compete. And when you get Kyrie and Anthony Davis in a pick and roll in the playoffs, and Anthony Davis defensively, like they're going to be very tough to beat in a 7-game series. As far as their future, very concerned for the Mavericks. And you're right, Johnny. Like The Lakers probably won this deal. I mean, they did win this deal. They got Luka Doncic, but I can see it from the Mavs perspective. I'm not like after having a couple days to process it, I can see kind of the why behind it for the Mavs because maybe Luka is just a guy that's going to go put up numbers and really isn't a winner. And that's someone that's going to thrive in LA because the Lakers are just going to, when LeBron retires, they're just going to put 4 defensive players around him and go win a championship. And I don't think the Mavericks wanted to deal with having one outlier defensively. I don't know. Shocked about it still. Still can't really process it. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, I think it's strange. I mean, it goes back to like when Mark Cuban talks about how they found Luka and all that fun stuff. Like, it is crazy. Like they did strike gold. They struck gold on a European, and he came over and he dominated. But like I said it right away, and I've been called crazy in every group chat that I've said it in. But I think this is a win-win for both teams. I don't see it as a Lakers dominated this trade. I don't see it as the Mavericks dominated this trade. The Utah Jazz definitely did not dominate this trade, but I mean at least they were part of it, right? I look at this trade and I look at Luka, who everyone plays defense in the NBA when the playoffs come around, unless your name's Luka, right? And I agree with you, Tanner. Like that was a glaring thing for me. My gripe with the NBA is that nobody plays defense until May. And I look at Luka last year and he was kind of uninspiring to watch. Nothing that it wasn't like super impressive because again, he's a great basketball player. There's no doubt about that. He was my pick to win the MVP this season. Like he is undoubtedly one of the best players in the NBA. But I just think, is he alone going to win you a championship? And I think the answer is no. I do think the answer is no. And so I look at Anthony Davis, who again, yeah, he's very rarely playing a ton of games a year or a percentile of games, but he's up for DPOY every year. I mean, truthfully, like he's a great basketball player. You pair that up with Kyrie, like Max Christie, yeah, you get a 29, first rounder, which by the way, again, the NBA is my least favorite professional sports because we're trading away 2040 picks. What in the world's going on? I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. How am I supposed to remember that the Bulls have a 2045 draft pick? I think that's a little whatever about the NBA, but I think both teams won. I really do. I do think both teams won in this trade. Excited to see what Luka and LeBron can play like together. Yeah, LeBron's old, but LeBron's still dominating. I was watching the game the other night. Like he's still pretty unbelievable to watch. So I do think there's a world where both teams won this trade, and I give the Mavericks GM some credit for having the balls to trade away a star like this. You get a star in return. Anthony Davis, when healthy, is one of the better positional players in the NBA. I was a little hesitant at first for the Lakers because they had nobody to protect the rim. They went out and acquired that yesterday or the other day. So I think both teams won. I think that's my take. I really do. I said it from the get-go. I understand why people might have thought I was crazy, but at the same time, like I don't know if Luka really does it and changes the curve for the Mavs, and I think they clearly know the best. I mean, they're the one watching him gain 15 pounds, and I can say that I'm a big boy, right? Like he's gaining 15 pounds when he's banged up by a calf injury, and I don't know. That's probably not going to help his defensive abilities, and I think you need defense at the end of the day to win an NBA championship. So, shout out to both teams. You're winners.
Yep.
I just think the biggest flaw in this, RT, is you go from your window being 10 years from having a top 3 offensive player at the very least in the NBA. Like you're legitimately have Luka's 25 right now, counting this season, like 8 more years of him averaging 28 plus points per game, and you shorten that window into wow, we really have like 2 or 3 years to go win a championship now. And let's not act like Kyrie some otherworldly defender, right? And he's their best guy right now. And I don't know. I just cannot wrap my head around. I understand the conditioning concerns. I understand the weight concerns. But everything that Nico Harrison has said makes him look like a jackass. I'm just going to say. He goes to his press conference and he's like laughing about it and giving really just like not real answers while Jason Kidd sits next to him and looks pissed off. If I'm a Mavericks fan, I would be irate. And look, I understand Luka. He bitches at the refs. He barely plays defense, and he does all this. I understand it, and both of you guys made very valid points. But I could not rationalize making my window from 10 years to 3 years. And there's a reason why Rob Pelinka laughed out loud during his press conference when he introduced Luka, where Nico came to us with a trade, and we have a great relationship, and we were able to work it out. Yeah. Luka is one of the Luka and Wembanyama I thought would never get traded. I honestly thought they would never get traded. I thought everyone else, maybe you can throw Anthony Edwards into that realm like right now, like would never get traded. And it's so unfathomable to think that they didn't even get 2 firsts. They got one of the firsts. Like, are you kidding me? You think the Lakers would have said no if you would have asked for 2 firsts? And look, there's a chance where Luka doesn't even re-sign with the Lakers. He is this year. He's the rest of this year. I think he has 2 more years. So counting this one is 3 years. But even if he doesn't want to re-sign, who doesn't want to trade for Luka in 2 years? You know, and it is just Tanner. You're right that I really even haven't really fully digested it, because I don't know if we'll ever see anything like this again, and we had never seen anything like this to begin with. So, like, if the defense concerns are a real thing, go get 4 guys that can really guard and put them around Luka, because there are so few people in the NBA that can casually go score 50. This dude is 25 years old, and he's been to a finals, and he's been to a conference finals, and a Western Conference that's been beyond stacked like we haven't seen in the last 25 years in the sport. And he's been to a conference finals and a finals. Like, that doesn't happen. It does not happen. And to throw that away for, frankly, Anthony Davis, who's just as injury prone as Luka, if not more, and Kyrie Irving, who is probably the most skilled basketball player per his height that I've ever seen in my entire life, but he's old too. And look, and right now, like, does it make the Mavericks more of a contender than the Lakers? Not even necessarily. Like, I think this could be a potential win now move for the Lakers and a win now move in the future. Are either of these teams going to the championship? Probably not. But if you're going to put a gun in my head and say, who do you like more, the Mavericks or the Lakers? I mean, I'm probably going to say the Lakers.
Yeah, I mean,
bottom feeder teams in the West.
Yeah,
well, I think the Lakers are a 5 or a 6 right now.
Yeah, right now, yeah.
What I wanted to say is that his debut with the Lakers actually just got moved to ESPN on Saturday.
Yeah, they bumped the Florida-Auburn game off ESPN for it.
Yeah, and deservedly so, because Luka's playing his first game with the Lakers against, honestly, one of the best teams in the NBA right now. So
talking about the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, it's a real draw.
The Pacers have won 19 of their last 24 games, so I understand it. The Pacers are finals contenders, so.
The Mavs play. I was looking up the NBA schedule. I think it's in a few weeks, but the
Lakers.
Yeah, they play each other, and the tickets are like outrageous. They're
that rating is going to be the highest rated NBA regular season game, maybe the last 20 years. Like, yeah. it is going to get an insane number. Yeah. But we can talk about one more trade, frankly, because I was in the building when it happened last night. Jimmy Butler going to Golden State. And I was telling them before it came on, it was kind of really interesting to see a blockbuster trade go down at firsthand. You know, I saw Andrew Wiggins warm up. And Andrew Wiggins, by the way, is an impressive, like, just specimen of a human being. Like, you always, like, see these guys. And I've been around a lot of NBA players. And, I don't know any of them personally, but being 10 feet away from them watching them warm up. But very few guys make you like, wow, this guy looks different. Andrew Wiggins looks different. Like, there's a reason why he was number 1 player in high school, number 1 pick and whatever. But they took all the players off the court. It was nothing I've ever seen before. Like, players mid warm up. Steph Curry shot a layup. One of the people in the front office whispered in his ear, and he sprinted back to the locker room. And he came back out 25 minutes later, and then Shams tweeted that Jimmy Butler goes to the Warriors. And if you're the Heat, a surprising return for a guy that knew that knew was gone, basically. So the Heat, Pat Riley, they're rarely going to settle for anything less. And for the Warriors, I like it for this reason. For the Warriors, they signed Jimmy Butler to a 2-year extension, and I was on the broadcast with the Warriors radio announcer. So, and he was telling me what he thought of this trade. Super nice guy. Shout out Tim Roy, and he's been there for 30 years. And he was telling me, he was like, look, with the extension, Jimmy's Jimmy's contract, Steph's contract, and Draymond's contract all runs out at the same time. So they're like, look, you guys got the rest of this year and 2 more years to go win a championship, to go completely do it. And the Warriors have been so hard-pressed to give up their future to help Steph and them now because they're more than one move away from being a grade A contender. And I still don't even think they can necessarily even get to a conference finals with this roster now. But if they wanted to in the next 2 years, they still have more than enough pieces to make that blockbuster deal if they really wanted to really give it one last push. But even if they don't, look, they're better than they were yesterday. And Andrew Wiggins, Steve Kerr, had a really touching kind of tribute to him, saying he was one of his favorite players he's ever coached. And Steve Kerr is, that's pretty high respect considering all the people that Steve Kerr has been around. So that was kind of my process, and it was pretty cool to see it all happen. You're just such a hater.
I hate Steve Kerr.
Steve Kerr's a nice guy.
Dude, go run for politics. Stop coaching the NBA.
I knew you were going to say that.
That and probably should have played Tyrese Halliburton a little bit more in the Olympics.
Yeah. Maybe Jason Tatum. I don't know.
Tatum's a pretty good player.
What?
Who's Tatum going to play over on that team? Tyrese Halliburton should have been playing over Derek White and Drew Holiday. Are you kidding me?
Hey, Derek White's a real player. Knows his role. Puts the ball in the basket.
I'm just glad he doesn't wear a headband anymore. Or does he?
Tyrese Halliburton. I had a guy, because the Pacers were in Utah recently, say that they don't like Tyrese Halliburton because they think he's distracted from basketball because he's always dancing around with white girls.
That's funny. That's funny.
But yeah, look, we said it before. Trade deadline is almost more relevant than a regular season NBA game, and it's somehow made the Super Bowl, which over 100 million people are going to watch, not relevant. The week leading up to it. So that was always something really interesting. But
and when's the deadline over? When does it end?
It ended today, so there's no more trades.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was tomorrow or not. So
yeah, no more trades.
I'm a little surprised there weren't a few more moves. I know that. What?
The Pacers traded James Wiseman. That's a big move.
Oh, that's a big move. That's a big move.
Cash.
Yeah. The Bulls didn't. I mean, they moved Zach LaVine. Nice. It's so uninspiring. The NBA flipping sucks. I don't even care.
Well, the Bulls, how about not getting anything back besides their own first-round pick? I can talk about the Bulls. I think the Bulls are turning into one of the worst-ran franchises in the NBA.
Well,
it is incredible.
Anything that Jerry Reinsdorf touches, it's the White Sox, it's the Bulls. It's a ticking time bomb. I mean,
yeah, and it goes deeper. And I know Reinsdorf hired this GM, but this GM's not any good. I remember they hired him. This guy was some innovative guy. I think he was from Russia or Ukraine, that area. And he comes in and he's awful. He is awful. And it took him this long to fully commit to a rebuild. Well, guess what? They're too far out of the really good odds to get one of the top 5 players. And trust me, I've done more draft work this year than any year of my, life. This draft is insane. There are 6 guys that can really go be a difference maker, and they're probably not going to get any of them.
Wow. So, never know. You got to get lucky. That's what
I think the Bulls are a disgusting franchise right now, and the for not getting more. I understand Zach LaVine wasn't on the greatest contract, but to see what the Kings ended up getting back in that trade, and I know they traded De'Aaron, but I mean, come on, the Kings got more valuable first round picks, three more valuable first round picks than the Bulls did. And the Bulls got one of their own picks back that they had a protection on already. So
give us a 5% chance to get Cooper Flag, and I'm happy. That's all I care.
My beloved Utah Jazz are going to have an 18% chance.
Yeah,
even though they came back from 11 down. There was a stat, and the Jazz were the first team in the last 2 years to come back from 11 plus points down in the last 2 minutes. Teams before that were 1,114 and 0.
Wow.
So shout out to the Utah Jazz. Shout out to Keontae George with an incredibly tough 3 in that game. But
yeah, they're so good. The Jazz are so tough.
Hey, I'll tell you what, and everyone I work with agrees, even my boss agrees to an extent. The Jazz are the most entertaining tanking team in the NBA because they're just competitive enough to where every game is close, but they still lose. So it's a win-win. The fans are there. They're happy. I mean, James, even the game that we were at for 15 minutes, it went to overtime. against the
We're
Nets, and it was
playing
buzzer
the other
beaters.
team that's going to get 18% chance to get.
Yeah, exactly.
As
But
well.
I mean, the Jazz play everyone tough. When the Lakers were in town, it came down to the last minute. The Pacers, Tanner, they came down to the last minute.
Lost.
Yeah,
They should have lost.
that's the best. The Jazz probably should have won a lot of these games, but they don't.
Oh, they're a young team, and young teams always kind of just grit out for 98% of the game, and then they poop down their legs at the last, second. So,
but yeah, we'll wrap it there. That's all we got. We'll have a Super Bowl. Yes,
Nope.
Tanner?
This past Saturday in college basketball was one of the best days
electric.
in college basketball recent memory for the regular season.
Yes.
Just wanted to say that this past Saturday was awesome.
Yeah, college basketball has been on one this season, and I'm biased. I'm going to say it's because the SEC has been so diverse and dominant and whatnot. But yeah, we're going to talk more college basketball next week as NFL winds down.
Illinois better start winning if they want me to talk about them. They got to start winning.
The Illini, yeah. Brad's got to get them organized. And how about Dickie V getting back on the call this weekend, huh? Talk about a legend. Dickie V, Tampa Bay area legend.
And he's still got it. He's not Lee Corso out there forgetting words. Like, he's still got it. So
I've met Dick Vitale, one of the nicest human beings I've ever met in my entire life. Like he is just an awesome human. I'm pretty sure he lives in Sarasota. He's a huge Rays fan, so he's got his priorities right.
Terrible organization.
No, got his priorities right.
Fair enough.
But anyway, if you guys made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.
See ya.